Welcome back to Sessordum!
Maybe somebody else.
Hey,
Well then.
we're back.
All right. So, Sans, one of our party, here in spirit. You all, last session, finally fought your way through the mines, the Hrakamar mines, to assist the dwarves in clearing that out so that they could give you access to the teleportation circle that you needed to get to the port city of Nyanzaru and hopefully find some answers to what exactly is going on here. There was some communication between May and her hubby in the Feywild.
Beyonce, unless something happened.
Nah, it's just
Nothing that I'm aware of.
hubby Bay.
Oh my god. It has very serious diplomatic and geopolitical implications, Eric, so
I'm gone, it doesn't matter.
They fucking.
Okay, like a true god.
And through some communication, he has been working on a way to get you back to Sessordum, but he said that in attempting to get you out of there, they've discovered that there's some sort of anchor in Faerun, in Cholt, where you are, that seems to be pulling everything and limiting interplanar travel and, in some instances, even communication. And so eventually you were able to get to Port Nyanzaru, and you all arrived outside of the Harbor Master's office, which is where the teleportation circle left you, into the light, into the sun, into the ocean breeze, and you heard the various sounds of the city. You saw the very colorful buildings, colorful dresses and other murals that decorated the walls of the city. And yeah, you all have arrived in Ardal's sort of home, at the very least, Port Nyanzaru.
And we leveled up.
Ah, no.
How do we
Like,
know?
what? Uh-oh.
I alone should have. I fucking murdered a whole ass lava elemental.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
With
That was
one
pretty good.
spell.
I was like, that's pretty cool.
One.
Good for you.
I did it.
Oh, this is so nice. Not a single fucking tree in sight. I love this place already.
Yes, it's a wonderful city, isn't it?
There's a tree right there, dude.
Yes, but this one is not trying to kill me, so already like it better.
Well,
It's not trying to
yet.
kill you yet. Yeah, see. You know,
Yeah.
we just got
Figure it
here.
out.
Go fight it, Kami.
Not yet. I don't need to make enemies in a new
Yeah, let's
place.
try not. Yeah, let's try not to draw as much attention to ourselves here.
Kami just hates all wildlife now. new character trait unlocked. Hates plants.
He casually just like rubs his dragon scale bracers of like, you're not wrong.
So, Ardal, where should we go? Let's.
Send us home, Ardal. Take us home.
Right. Well, if you want to figure out this whole anchor situation and get home, where you're probably going to want to talk to Eon. That's where I get my work from. The explorers of Nyanzaru is what it stands for. They'll have a lot. I don't know what it is, but they'll probably have answers. Shall I take you to them?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also had an idea.
Do tell, Ziggy.
So, I know that, like, when I did some meditation, I could feel where the anchor was, right? And I felt
I did
it.
not know it.
I felt.
Could you?
Yeah, I told you guys, like, we're being held here and stuff.
But nobody believed me.
But no. Yeah.
Ziggy, to be fair, you're always saying the craziest shit, and we can never know what's legit and what's fluff.
That's
No
fair.
offense.
But I was thinking, if I was feeling it like from like if we were like here, right? And I was feeling
Okay.
it that way.
Well,
Do you
how
have
are we feeling?
that way?
We're feeling it. If I was here
And
and
Ziggy's
Stop.
doing this in the middle of the town. Like, just arrived. He's just.
Lizard
I
You're
pup.
people
already
walk-
like
couple people walk
a
by.
lizard person.
There's a boat sailing by into the harbor being like, yeah! This guy gets it.
if we were like up here and I felt it pulling like that, well, not pulling, I felt it coming from like that way. If I met it like, because now we're like here, right? We're over
So we
here.
went in the wrong
Does it
direction.
look like Ziggy's pointing in the right directions here? Like, no.
But just follow me, okay, guys? Jeez.
Okay.
But
Okay,
now, like,
okay,
we're
okay.
here, and I felt it going this way. But now we're here, and if I feel it going like another way, that's another direction. And then like wherever those 2 points are, if I go on like the very far side of that, and then I feel it like here, going like there, then we have like a thing.
You want to triangulate
What's that?
Yes.
what you just described.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I invented that.
No, it is a very Ziggy. It's a very popular, very useful survivalist skill for orienteering. We had to learn it in the legions. So well done. I'm trying to commend you.
I did it.
Yes, Ziggy.
See, I'm smart. I invented
No
something
one-
I didn't even know existed.
That's not okay. Well, yes. Shall we go? Do you want to meditate then, Ziggy? to
Well, yeah,
see
we'll
if,
do that later. But like, we're gonna need the people's help to like go far over that way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Fully to Eon then.
Let's go.
Okay. So you guys make your way through the city, following Ardal, who is quite familiar with the streets and the buildings and the various wards of the city. And as he goes, I imagine Ardal would probably be explaining, describing much of whatever the city that you're passing. Things like the Merchants Ward, which is largely what it sounds like, located near the Harbor Master. It's a lot of the various shipping that comes in and out of the city. And kind of explaining that the city is kind of led by 7 merchant princes who kind of rule the port city, as well as much of kind of Cholt, as this is the only kind of civilization that exists on the peninsula. So there's 7 merchant princes, and it's largely the commerce that comes through the city, both coming in to supply the various adventurers and expeditions that occur here, as well as the resources that are pulled out of the jungle and sent back to other cities around Faerun. And as you walk, you see to kind of your left. You're kind of on the far side of the harbor, and as you walk around, following it on your left, you kind of are walking around it. You see a large kind of jetty that comes out from where the harbor master is into the central part of the harbor, and it ends in a large lighthouse that kind of stands almost central in the harbor. And then you see what looks to be a very large chain that descends from the lighthouse kind of down into the water, and then back up again on the other side. You see a fortification on the opposite side of the harbor from the lighthouse, and you see the chain emerging from the water on the far side. And this is kind of a defensive measure for the harbor, as well as a way to keep people from escaping with things like contraband or criminals on board. The chain can be raised, and it can prevent any ships from leaving the harbor. So he's kind of a lot of this is just kind of being explained as you guys walk, and as you guys kind of just you see a very, very lively city. And at one point, as you're passing through, you see part of the street is blocked off to your right, further out towards the walls of the city. And you see a large gathering of people, kind of all around, milling around, and suddenly they all kind of start to cheer, and you feel this like rumbling as they all start to cheer, and you see all of a sudden these huge lizard-like creatures with riders astride them, just like tearing through the city street that's blocked off, and people start going crazy and they're cheering. And it appears to be some sort of race involving what look to be like dinosaurs. As people kind of are, and you see money kind of exchange hands as the dinosaurs pass by.
What? Do you see this?
Yeah.
I like start smacking. I smack Kami. Do you see this? Look at this.
A taste for the games and betting do we have, Maeve?
Dude, I could turn into one and you could ride me, Kami.
In this race. Well, we don't have time.
I
What do we
bet
have
on
time?
you,
We don't have time.
Ziggy.
We don't have time for
Yeah.
this.
Bet on me, bet on me, bet on me, bet
Definitely
on
do
me.
that. He'll definitely close this one down.
My favorite musical starts now.
There's dinosaur racing that occurs throughout the city on a weekly basis, but it's a while through the city as you make your way past what's described as the Red Bazaar, which is also Ardal, where you would know there's one or two places to stay within the Red Bazaar if you needed it, and to the far side of the market board near the city walls, there's kind of a large circular building with a blue kind of tiled roof and what seems to be like clay walls. And there's a large portico in the front that is kind of the entrance to it, but it's open. There's no doors to it. Ardal, you know this to be the building that houses Eon.
And finally, last but not least, our tour ends with Eon. We're here.
Now, is there anything we should know about these people before we go barging in?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure you've got old bureaucratic systems back on your world. You know, they've got their policies and their systems. I don't know.
Yeah,
Here
and I
to
think-
that.
Pretty sure that we got really good at pissing them off too back there too.
Right,
Oh.
right. But this time maybe lay off on the pissing off, at least to start, because there's no other way to figure out what this anchor is or, how to get home. But maybe once you've got your intel, then, by all means, pop off.
By all means, pop off. Very
Pop
technical academic language.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pop off, Hank.
Chilton expression. Popping.
By all means, go off, sis.
Or not.
Ah, yes.
Great.
Ah, yes, I
Let him
understand.
cook.
Say less.
So you all are heading into Eon to look for some answers. Is that kind of what I'm getting from this?
Yes.
Yes.
Great.
Yes, we are.
You made answers.
Yeah, so as Ardal kind of leads you in, Ardal, you recognize a familiar face within Eon to you, a lizard folk who goes by the name of Creo. And he appears to be rushing by you as you kind of enter into the main building, kind of rushing coming from your right to your left. And he seems to be carrying a number of pieces of parchment, seems to be rolled up, maybe maps of some sort, and doesn't seem to notice you at first as you kind of rush in.
Off in a rush, are we, Creo?
Ardal, hello, welcome back.
Yes.
You've been gone for quite some time.
Oh, yes. Well, actually, I think I've returned a little earlier than planned. But yes, I come with some folk who I found in the jungle who have a very important request and information that I think our higher-ups might be interested in.
You all were very lucky to find Ardal. He'll get you out of the jungle safe and sound, I guarantee it.
Technically, we got him out of the jungle safe and sound.
But both, a little bit. Column A, column B. I'd like
We
that.
helped each other.
Yes, thank you, Maeve.
Give me your money.
I'll tea, I'll
Mutually
shave,
beneficial.
Ziggy. Oh my god.
Is this the place where you keep the stolen artifacts?
I'm sorry, you said stolen artifacts?
Yes.
Well, who did you steal them from?
No, you steal them from temples. Is this the place where you take them?
Oh,
Sorry,
we have a number of
later.
artifacts.
Later.
Okay, sorry. Okay, never.
Later.
Hello.
Pop
Nice
off.
to meet you.
Pop off later. Pop off later. Yeah.
Well,
Later.
oh no.
Yes.
You were saying you have some information. Well, I'm not sure if you've been made aware in the last few months. There's been quite a bit of bother here at Eon. We seem to be hosting a number of different entities these days. All seem to be gathering here, concerned about some nonsense somewhere in the heart of the jungle. We've got, let's see, the Emerald Enclave sent an emissary. The Flaming Fist is here, of course, as I'm sure you're aware.
Yes.
The Harpers have come
Really?
through.
The Harpers.
We've got some representatives of the Lord's Alliance here, as well as the Yatepka Society, all kind of milling together. And I try to help where I can. They normally ask me for various information, bits of maps and temples and things that might be in the area for where they're operating. But yes, it seems to be there's quite a bit going on these days. So it's interesting timing for you to return. I'm sure there's plenty that you could contribute to if you're looking for. I'm not sure if you were able to finish your last expedition.
No, I'm put a little short. I've come back with but an alchemy jug. No.
Good find.
Yes.
Have you tried the mayonnaise?
Oh yes, it has. Did you know it has medicinal properties?
Yes,
Mayonnaise
it's,
has medicinal properties. What have you been able to find the medicinal properties for?
it's great for plant acid.
Don't put it
Plant
on.
acid.
Yes.
You don't
Mhm.
say.
No,
Well,
you
that is
don't
something
say.
We will have to take
Yes.
with us.
We will have to add that
This
to our
rival,
record.
this might be a deeper
Wow.
rivalry that I.
Have you been making notes along the way for all these things? I'm sure we'd love to go over them together later.
Of course. Yes, but is there any way we could schedule some kind of meeting with these folk here who've traveled very far to?
He kind of holds up the various like scrolls and things in his arms. Says, "Well, I'm actually headed to speak with Losika is her name from the Emerald Enclave. She's kind of taken charge more or less, but yes, I'm going to speak with her now. You're welcome to come with me. I'm sure." Ardal, you're well respected here. I'm sure she'd be happy to listen to whatever it is you have to say.
Bully, yes.
Is the Lord of Neverwinter here?
No, Lord of Neverwinter doesn't come out to troll too much.
Sorry, I don't know what came over me. It was just...
Kobe's been replaced by Paragon. Oh no.
I
Bring
this
Kobe back.
crazy urge to burn the city to the ground? I don't
Out of my experience, crazy.
Sorry, that was so weird.
Ardo, you're so high. You have a lot of clout here.
Yeah, a little bit. I've put in my years. People know me by name. Sure.
You kind of like wave at somebody going by and they just give you a look like they don't know who you are.
See?
Well, sounds like maybe we can tag along to speak with this Lusika.
Yes. Yeah. Now I don't have any clout, as you said, with the Emerald Clave, but who knows? They're definitely important here. So they might have the information you're seeking.
Yes, well, maybe we can Lusika an audience.
Oh, that was excellent.
I see you, Kami.
Rio, at this point,
Dies.
kind of gives you a nod and walks off, seemingly assuming that you're going to follow him. But he kind of makes his way through the halls, and as you kind of fall into step behind him, Ardal, you're fairly familiar, obviously, with this place, and so you kind of recognize where you're headed. And as he kind of pushes open the doors, you recognize the sort of large meeting hall that exists here within Eon. And it is a round room within the round building. And there's no kind of central seat. It's all kind of seating around kind of the outside with a kind of podium that stands in the center where people would give things like they would give presentations on things they may have found, or they would discuss topics, and people would have their time in the center to kind of speak to everybody who gathers there. But it's very decentralized by nature. This is a place for discussion rather than kind of ruling. And as you kind of walk in, you open the doors, you see a very dark-skinned, dark-haired woman, seems to be human, standing at the podium in the front, kind of talking to those that are gathered within the chamber here. And you notice kind of druidic apparel, druidic garments that this person's wearing. Very natural kind of fabrics and like leather armor and things like that. And as you kind of walk in, you hear her speaking to a number of people that are kind of within the closest part of the circle, but there's others that are gathered in here as well. And she says, we'll need to await the next shipment before we can send them back out. There's simply no way to keep them fortified at this rate. What's the status of it? And as she kind of asks that, she looks up to Creo, who walks in, and kind of squints a little bit at you all following behind. And she says, hold on. Creo, I sent you for maps. What did you bring me? And he kind of takes the maps and kind of plops them down on the table, and he says, well, this is Ardal. He's a fellow archaeological explorer, similar to myself. And he's just returned from his own expedition out in the jungle with, it seems, some new friends, and he suggested that they may have some information that maybe you would be interested in, or perhaps you could help them with something that I'm not entirely sure. And with that, he kind of...
Great job, Creo. You nailed it.
Thank you. And he kind of drops the maps and kind of backs to the back of the room, kind of just to take a listening role here, and kind of nudges you forward, Ardal.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, right. Yes, I'm Ardal, as Creo pointed out there. These folk here I found in the jungle, and, put it simply, they weren't just folk who left Nyanzaru or anywhere nearby and just happened to go in the wrong direction. I don't want to... Well, would one of you like to explain it?
She puts her hands up as you're in the middle of her talking. She says, we don't have time for any tourists, refugees, whoever it is. We have too much going on.
What if they're interplanar?
She kind of pauses for a moment. Where is it that you all said you were from?
Let me ask you something first in return. The threats that you've been facing, the entities that you've been encountering, they're not from here, are they?
The things we're facing were at one point from here.
But not anymore.
Well, most of them died, and now they're back somehow.
Getting vomited out of T-Rex's mouths.
Well, that was one occasion. We dealt with it.
Oh.
The point I'm trying to make is that your problems and our problems are one and the same, most likely. And the reason we ended up here in a plane that is not native to us. And if we can enlist your help in getting us home, we have a very good chance of helping to alleviate the challenges that you are facing here on your plane, Peridran, as well.
I don't mean to be rude. We have a lot going on, but I will say you've earned about 5 minutes of my attention. Be quick about what you have to say.
Arnold in the back, just like, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty good. Nice.
As I'm sure many of your best mages and wizards and academics are well aware, your plane is not alone in this multiverse of ours.
Of course.
We come from a plane called Sessordum. Well, I should say, some of us here in this group come from a plane called Sessordum. My companions here, Maeve and Warl, who is here in spirit, they come from the Feywild. Another area that I'm sure many of your kind are also well aware of.
We are.
The Fae touch many of us across the multiverse, and we have been tracking an entity.
I don't
Ziggy?
come from a plane.
Okay, some of us come from the space in between planes. Ziggy, technicality, I'm going to keep this moving, okay? Okay. We've been... my party here has been gaining knowledge on an extraplanar threat coming at the hands of Oberius, the leader of the Unseelie Court, I believe. Right, Maeve? Potentially?
No, he may partner with them, but he's separate from them. He's trying to take over the whole Feywild. He's trying to take over the
And you
Unseelie
see-
and the Sealing Courts.
His strength draws from bringing the planes into closer proximity with one another. The more overlap he can help induce, the stronger he becomes. We have seen disturbances on our home plane and have spoken to other guardians to planes beyond our own who are facing their own challenges. As we were getting closer to discovering potent information that could stop him, we were banished here, where we remain stuck, anchored, if you will. Clearly, we pose a real threat to Oberius, or he would not waste his time and energy to keep us stuck here. And it would behoove us all if we can get back on the trail.
That's quite a story. I can't say I have any familiarity with this Oberius. We've not seen any evidence of him or interacted with him. Though, as I'm sure you've experienced, the jungles are vast, and somebody could certainly operate within them without much knowledge to the rest of us. But our problems seem to be... I fail to see a connection at the moment between our problems. You see, we've been battling what we've called the death plague. A bit dramatic if you ask me, but it's the term that's stuck. And it's called that because it seems to be a plague on death itself. And that death seems to be unsubstantial these days, ineffective, temporary. Much of what we've seen once die here in the lands of Cholt has come back. I'm not sure if you've found them through your time in the jungle, but there's hordes of undead that roam the jungles. And there seems to be a centralized location somewhere deep in the jungle. We've been doing our best to locate, eradicate, whatever the source might be. And that's where our current efforts lie. So you'll have to forgive me. I do, if what you say is true, that seems like a challenge, though I'm not quite sure I see the connection at the moment.
Well, as it happens, we've also discovered that Oberius, in part of his quest to merge the planes and draw them closer together, he seems to be messing with the, I don't know how you say, the ley lines, the conduits for energy that transcends the planes in the way that death can transcend the planes. There seems to be a connection somewhere in the stars, is what we've discovered back on our plane.
Mm-hmm.
But we have been able to link similar phenomenon back on our own plane with Oberius's exploits.
Mm-hmm. And we believe, as Kami said, that where these ley lines intersect here on this plane, that's what's anchoring us here. So we have to find where these ley lines intersect. And I have a hunch that it could be the same place where you mentioned these hordes of undead are coming from.
Now, ley lines, that does seem to be a connection. You see, the source that we're speaking of seems to have a connection somewhat to these ley lines that you're talking about. But I'm not sure I'm prepared to speak more on that matter with you all. I'm sure you understand there are enemies that we face. Trust is not given freely. And while I can empathize with the need to return home, and especially if you are trapped in a land as unforgiving as Chult, what is it that you seek, and can you convince me of your intentions?
Dude, we
provide
just want to
evidence?
go home.
Ziggy's been saying that a lot lately. I think it's really starting to sink in. But to be frank, Lucica, we do not wish to tie ourselves up in the challenges and squabbles of a plane that is not our own. What we're merely asking is, it seems like you all have a concerted effort to root out the blight, the cause of the issue at this intersection of the ley lines, and it seems that is where we need to go as well, and we would fare a whole lot better if we joined an effort like yours than if we tried to trek through this unknown jungle by ourselves again. As for a way to...
Dodo.
What was that?
Sorry.
What was
No,
that?
nothing. Just saying, you're not alone, but carry on. No, this is important. Carry on.
Well, let me ask you a question. Does the name Acererak mean anything to any of you? And as you hear that name, I'm going to say Kami and May, with your kind of skills, with your particular abilities, give me a perception or arcana check.
All right.
Both are great.
Oh! Not bad. That's at 22.
Thank you, Save Us, Maeve. I haven't even rolled yet.
I mean, Kami's stupid and dumb.
That's right! The best would be a 7 between the two.
Great. I got us covered. 22.
And then you
I'm
feel
feeling 22.
a familiar kind of push into your mind, as if somebody's trying to kind of probe your thoughts with a sort of detect thoughts. And it's as the name of Acererak is mentioned.
Okay. I'm not going to react very well to this. We do not know an Asariak, and you can stop probing into our minds this instant.
Well, let them, Maeve. We have nothing to hide. We need to prove our intention.
We do, but I would like to prove our intentions honestly. And if someone is trying to detect our thoughts, then it means that we're not starting from a baseline of trust at all.
I mean, they made that pretty
Well, no,
clear.
they made that clear.
Yeah. And I'm not happy with it.
I believe she explicitly said multiple times, but I don't trust you, so...
Yeah.
You can look in my brain. Do it.
But also, do we know an Asariak at all?
Yeah, does that...
No, that does not ring any bells to
Okay.
you. And so
And if you
she kind of holds up a hand to you, May, and she says, apologies. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name yet.
My name is Maeve Thorian. It's very nice to meet you. And again, if you want to take a look inside any of our minds, you can ask nicely first.
You can look at my brain.
I do apologize for the manner in which we've had to conduct ourselves on that front. But there is, as I said, an enemy, and there are those who would wish to prevent us from further action against that enemy. As you may have guessed, the enemy that we speak of, his name is a Serac. From my best knowledge and from my attempts so far, it all seems that
Oh,
that
a
name.
Serac.
There you go.
Okay. Theo knows who it is now, but no,
Yeah. It seems that that name does not hold much meaning to any of you all, which is a good thing. Though again, I do apologize for probing. I understand that that is invasive. I'm impressed that you picked up on it, though.
She's very good with any brain stuff, you know?
Now, to speak a bit more openly with you all, we here within Eon, we've assembled members of the various factions that exist here in Cholt for the sole purpose of rooting out the presence of the Sesserac within the jungle. It seems he has manipulated this ley line that you all are speaking of that runs directly through the remains of an ancient city deep in the jungle. And he has used that to... We can't say exactly what his ends are yet. We don't know. But the side effects...
Sorry not to interrupt, but while you're saying this, Kami's telepathically over to Maeve saying, one of Liberius is chosen on this plane, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I was thinking as well. I think that he's found an ally here.
Sorry, continue.
And she keeps speaking to that, essentially saying the effects of his presence here have been this death plague, as it's been called, as well as a negative effect on much of the magic, the arcane abilities that we typically have at our disposal. Seems there's been some sort of interference that's been happening, especially as you get closer to this place in the center of the jungle. We have been sending resources, both material and some of our people as well, and we've established a sort of forward operating base within the jungle near this location, which I will refrain from naming at the moment. You'll forgive me, of course. There's just more due diligence we have to do before we fully can clue you into what we're doing. But that is to say that we have had an operation going against this Sesserac, against his tomb, if you will, that he's built beneath this ancient city. And if you all are committed to the cause, if this is something that you feel is connected to what you are doing, we could certainly use the help in rooting out whatever it is that's causing all of this. And at this point, as she's kind of speaking, you see somebody stand up from the circular kind of seating arrangement. And he is looks to be an elven man, a little bit older, very light skin, light hair. And he steps forward and he says, Losika, if I may interrupt. It's good to meet you all. My name is Rathian, and I'm an emissary of the Harpers here on Cholt. For those of you who aren't from here, Harpers are a organization that exists throughout Faerun, and we have the purpose of rooting out problems, evil, corruption, things like that, doing our best to address them, to fix them, to fight them. You mentioned the name Oberius. I can't say I have much experience with it, though I remember from my days back in the Feywild, he seemed to have been a problem even then, though it seems perhaps he's grown in his abilities recently.
You've spent time in the Feywild?
I'm from there originally.
Oh my god,
How
do you
did
know
you
my
get there
aunt?
from here?
What'd you say, Nick?
You're a bitch, and so is your aunt.
How did you get there from there to here? How did you travel between the planes?
I'm sure much like yourself.
Well,
We find portals. There's
We got-
portals between the planes, and we utilize them as I'm sure you did. How was it that you arrived
We got
here or
thrown
wherever it
here.
is that you're from?
We pissed off Oberius. And,
yeah.
well, I technically pissed off Oberius. And he threw all of us here.
But from where you came from before you arrived here in Schult, I'm sure you had an ability to travel from the Feywild, as that's where you're from originally, correct?
Me? I didn't have the ability to do it. But I was transported to Sessordum from the Feywild through a portal.
And you wish to return to the Feywild.
Yes. I mean, not yet. I would love to return to the Feywild soon, but before I do, I have to get back to Sessordum. We have to get back to Sessordum first.
I understand. Well, it's been nearly 100 years, I think, since I've been to the Feywild myself, but I can say the name is one that I'm familiar with at the very least. It does worry me to hear that perhaps his influence has spread and grown. So, Losika, I can offer a bit of support to at least that story that they seem to be telling. And I can say that our communication with and perhaps even travel to the Feywild has been interrupted since this whole thing has begun. And so if you all are stuck here, and if that is the case with the Feywild, it does lead me to believe that there must be some connection, there must be something holding things here. And perhaps that's enough of a connection that I'd be prepared to accept your help.
Well, a Sarac, he's sound a whack. So we'll kill him.
Yes.
You see a very large, like rivaling Kami in size, in sort of
Competition!
full garb, sort of shoulder plate armor, but no chest plate, wielding a large axe, and he's just kind of like seated. And as you say that, he just bursts out laughing.
This guy gets it.
Deep rumbling laughter, and he smacks his hand on the table that's in front of him, and he says, "Ah, oh, how's a good one?" And he stands up and comes over to you, Ziggy, and he says, "My name's Kutrum. I'm a member of the Flaming Fists here in Schult. It's good to meet you all."
What it do, my dude?
And with a large kind of hand, he kind of like claps you on the shoulder, Ziggy. He says, if you all made it out of the jungles, I'll take it you're prepared and able to fight.
Always.
You don't even know.
Well, that's good news. There's plenty to go around once you get deeper into the jungle, and especially once you get to this tomb that Losika's been speaking about.
Yes, well, some of us happen to be amongst the greatest fighters on our plane.
You
So,
talk to me
Well, you've heard of me.
about me like that. That's okay.
what'd you say?
Who specifically me?
Yeah, what did you say, Zaire? I didn't hear.
I said, oh, no need to refer to me like that. That's a humble. Thank
And at
you.
the same time, Kushram goes, so you've heard of me.
I'm the
Maybe
best
just looking
fighter
back
from
and
in
forth.
between planes.
And Losika stands again and she says, okay, I think that's enough. You can all put it away.
She means your dicks. Do birds even have dicks, dude?
This is
You
why
want
is
to
it the
know
second
now?
time we are talking about this? Because of Michael. No.
Now,
If I had a nickel, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Wait,
Too
do
many,
I have
yeah,
a dick? I don't
yeah.
have a dick anymore, guys. Where is
Oh
my
my God.
dick?
You have a cloaca.
The fuck is that?
Just stop it.
We're done.
so Losika stands. She says, very well. If you all are to accompany us, the next round of reinforcements and materials, we should be able to send it out in 36 to 48 hours.
Which is like 2 weeks on our plane, dude. We gotta go.
I understand that, but this is a very dangerous endeavor we're undertaking. We must approach it with the seriousness that it deserves. I will not send our people in poorly equipped or poorly resourced.
I know, Ziggy, but we need
Very
them.
smart. And Lucica, just for our own knowledge, as we start this journey with you, when did the problems here on Choltz start? When did you start seeing these hordes of undead?
This has been going on for months here at the very least, though probably longer.
Months.
It's just become the problem has become significant enough that it's gained our attention in recent months. The undead have been commonplace throughout the jungles for many years.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does that-
And yeah, that helps. I mean, as Rathian said, Oberius, he's been becoming more and more powerful year after year. He's been behind the scenes trying to build an army of beasts for as long as I can remember. But more recently, just so you know, one of the beasts that we saw in Sessordum looked a lot like one of these dinosaurs.
You don't have.
So I just.
You don't have the dinosaurs in Sessordum?
No, but I can turn into
No.
one now, which is dope.
No.
Interesting.
So yeah, I just.
Well, as you mentioned, this one here can turn into one. Is it possible it was
No,
an
this was a real
individual?
one. Like I saw the real one, and I
Mhm.
was like, I want to be that, and so now I can be that.
Well, they're fearsome creatures, I can assure you. We've fought them, we've tamed some of them, we've utilized their size and ferocity in many situations. But if one appeared outside of its normal plane, it's certainly concerning.
And flyboys.
Flyboys. You mean
I.
like a bird?
No, like
Or-
the fly lizard boy with like a pointy head thing.
I assure you I don't know what you're talking about. A fly lizard boy. Like a humanoid fly.
No, like a lizard that has wings that you can ride on. It like flies around like a bird, but it is.
Oh. You saw one of those as well?
Yeah, one of my people is riding it, and I don't like it.
Well, people have, as I said, tamed them and utilized their abilities. This was here, or this was back in your?
This is back in.
I see. And there's none of those back there.
What if no?
What do you have in your home plane, if I could ask?
Rats.
Rats and birds, sure, yeah. We have those.
Dragons.
Dragons. Oh, yes. Well, we've had those as well. a lot fewer these days, but they definitely exist.
Yes, well,
Fish.
ours lays claim to creation of the world, so, you know.
We got humans. You got those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We got
Yes, of course.
we got fish people. You got those.
We could run through a whole encyclopedia of like
I was gonna keep going until
everything on
someone
our
stopped
plane.
me.
But I think you're getting the sense that we certainly don't have those dinosaurs. Which just leads me to believe that Oberius has been here working behind the scenes. And whomever this Assyriac is, I bet they're in league together. Just
Well, as I mentioned, if you return to us and once the reinforcements and materials are assembled and prepared, we would be ready and willing to have you join the next wave to the tomb. I recommend, I should say, in these next few hours that you take some time to collect yourselves, prepare yourselves, get a good night's rest, and hopefully we can solve all of our problems.
Well, we are appreciative of the opportunity to join you in your efforts, which could help us find our way back home.
Let's hope that's the end goal, or result, I should say.
I'll join you on one condition.
And what is that condition?
We call him a Sarawak.
I will not stop you from calling him that.
No, you have to call him it, dude. Gotta get on board with the team.
Fucking mess.
Ziggy's just joking
Just
around.
say it.
I'm
Come
glad
on,
we
just
approached
say it. You
this.
don't want to.
I'm glad we can approach this with the seriousness that the situation is in. Where is it that you all plan to stay? We'll come calling once we're prepared to leave.
Yes, well, you see,
Look at
we've been
Arnold.
in this city for all of 45 minutes, so we don't have a clue.
I think
Arnold?
Arno has a futon, right?
I think if I move the cats,
I snore.
Oh, I'm sure that. Well, it might bother one of the cats. Susie doesn't like loud noises.
Susie?
Oh, it's a squeeze, but I don't know if I could fit all of you. And one of my cats, Susie, really doesn't like snoring.
Do you have lodgings, a barracks? I am more than used to staying in such accommodations.
I would recommend the House of Repose, as it would give you a quiet, secluded spot for you to collect yourselves, get a good night's rest. It's a bit more expensive than some of the other places here, but I assure you it is the quietest, and it will hopefully prepare you all for what's to come.
Well, then so be it.
Well, it's a good thing we have the alchemy jug that we can sell to pay for our housing at the House of Repose, right, Arnold?
Well, that was an artifact I was going to turn in here to Eon, as you know.
Yes, actually, we need to talk about that.
Oh, yes.
At this point, the collection of the representatives from the various factions have kind of split off into smaller groups and are speaking among themselves as you all are here, left here talking amongst yourselves as well.
Was there anyone, how large of a group was around us at that time, like during this conversation? And was there anyone who looked, I guess, very, very interested in us as we were talking to Lucica?
Give me a perception check on that.
Ooh. 25.
Okay.
Is anyone overly interested?
As you were kind of scanning the various individuals who were gathered there, there was one who was seated sort of towards the back of the main group of representatives that was kind of listening to Losika when you came in. He is a younger human man, dressed in pretty modest clothing, nothing flashy, but doesn't seem to be dressed in any sort of warrior's attire or carrying any weapons with him as well. He's got kind of lightish brown hair, kind of cut short, with no kind of facial hair, which is a little unusual for people out in the jungle, if that's where he's ever been. And fairer skin than most of the others here in the room. And he did seem to give you a bit of attention as you were speaking and as he listened to the story. Looked maybe suspicious at one point or so. But yeah.
All right, I clock him.
Okay.
Like you punch him?
Yeah.
No, I'm saving. I'm gonna pop
yeah,
off
brother.
later.
Hell yeah, brother.
Pop.
Hey, tell Bailey we all just said hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
She'll be so proud and feel all sad that she missed out on it.
Well, next time we'll all say it together with her.
Oh, hell yeah,
brother.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where's the
So
tambourine?
anyway, you all are kind
I
of
know
left
it's in your hand.
speaking amongst yourselves.
Where's the tambourine?
Yeah.
It's right there. I'm staring at it. I can't reach it from where I'm at, though.
Jake's like, I've been waiting for somebody to ask about the goddamn tambourine.
It's gone. It's bad. Begging for me. Nope. I'm staying strong.
Do it. Do it. Do it. You won't.
Doing it. Well,
I was just gonna, put out on demand.
Oh, you're gonna surprise tambourine for us? Just a random fact.
It's better when it's organic, not when it's.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not some dog that'll come at it with a bell. Do a trick. No.
Zaire.
Or every time,
Oh,
or just, I'm just saying, every time you use Toll the Dead.
Yes.
No,
Sounds
now
like
I
a-
just need to go find a bell.
it just
Oh,
sounds
actually,
like
all right.
a
Hold on.
jazzy
I might have to.
tambourine. Do you have a cowbell?
No.
Oh, we can't hear it.
That's a
Yeah.
singing bowl,
You
isn't
can?
it?
It didn't pick it. Your mic didn't pick
I
it
didn't
up.
pick it up.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-mm,
Zoo, I mean,
nothing.
It's so
No.
loud.
It might be the pitch.
Yeah. I think the mic's just
Yeah, it's
Let's take a look.
silent.
mics are so trained now to block out any noise that's not a human voice.
Whoa.
Nope. can't hear a thing.
Nothing.
That's weird. Well,
You guys didn't hear
that was
that?
anticlimactic. Wait, what if I'm talking and I was emulating it?
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can hear it.
It said you're living in a simulation? What?
It
It's
said,
really like,
it said
Nothing
take
is
the red
real?
pill?
Well,
Anyway, what are you all doing? Are you kind of discussing more? Are you
I think we're
leaving?
trying to go to this house of
the House of
whatever, right?
Repose.
Repose.
Okay. As you all kind of turn to leave, if May were here, it would be the individual that she had clocked earlier. Kind of steps up and Ardal, he kind of puts his hand kind of on your back for a moment, on your shell, and he says, Ardal,
Hmm? Yes?
my name's Atson. I'm one of the Utepka Society representatives. Would you mind if we spoke for a moment before you left? Just privately.
Tepka?
Utepka, yes. Which you recognize the name. It is a society, one of the factions here in the city, who is kind of devoted to keeping the various other factions in check, so to speak, kind of a separation of powers enforcer. So like trying to make sure that nobody is gaining too much power over the others, and making sure that everybody's kind of in it for the right reasons, and not to kind of abuse whatever position they may have gained through their factions kind of set. And you've dealt with them before, because even Eon is ideally kept in check by Utepka, which is you kind of surmise that's probably why they're here in this meeting. But yeah, so they kind of ask you to speak privately before you leave.
Sure, yes, of course. Excuse me, just a moment.
So you all kind of see Ardal leave with, and May, it's the individual that you had clocked earlier, the one that seems to be paying attention to you all. And so as you all kind of like walk out, Ardal goes to a separate room with this individual. And as they close the door, Ardal, they say, again, I apologize for the manner in which we have to speak, but my name is Atson, member of the Atepka Society here. And I just wanted to, I understand you're well respected here at Eon as a member of the archaeological team. And it seems as though you've been traveling with these new individuals a bit. Is that correct?
Yes, for a couple weeks or so. Return journey, yes.
Again, as a respected member of Eon, I feel I have to ask your opinion on what are your thoughts on them so far? Can they be trusted? What are they doing here? I guess is my question.
Honestly, although as the lizard keeps saying, I think they're just trying to get home. I trust their talk about this Oberius or whatever, and I don't know how much it has to do with the problems we've been facing, but it seems that they're willing to throw their lives into it just to get back to their own problems. I don't think they're working with anyone nefarious, as far as I can tell.
And their sort of desire to return home, I guess, how would you evaluate that when it comes to, if we send them along, will they abandon the work that we're doing if they find the opportunity to leave?
Well, they might. Yeah, they might. If we're being honest, they talked about it a little bit with the dwarves when we were in the lava, but they stuck to it in the end. So, but if we're being frank, yeah, that's a concern.
Well, I appreciate your honesty on the matter, and honestly, I think I can almost respect that more. If their sole desire is to leave here and get back to where they came from, at least I can trust that their intentions don't have any negative impact on sort of what we're doing. So I think I can appreciate that aspect of who they are, at least. And do you have an evaluation of sort of their skills since you've been working with them?
Oh, they are very efficient. Yes. Yes, again, that lizard one, I watched him take out a whole elemental, a big one, a magma one. That was impressive. But that's not to say the others aren't capable as well. They all can put up their dukes, as it were. Yes.
Do we have anything to fear from them if they have significant abilities? Should we be concerned with any of them? Is one of them perhaps more of a concern? Or just trying to gauge, if we send them out with some of our people, I want to make sure that we're sending them out I want to make sure that our people are not at risk. That's all. Have you noticed any concerning habits or personalities among the group?
We're not doing a Dark Urge playthrough, okay?
We're just murdering left and right.
No, no. They seem to use their skills to keep themselves and the people they care about safe, and without doing unnecessary harm to innocents or bystanders or our people in this case.
That's good to
Didn't
hear.
they torture one of the tiger things in front of you?
That's exactly what I was thinking of, was that you're torturing the were-tiger and just like sucking the life soul from it.
Like, no, it doesn't
See
say
that
what
kind of
it
flash
is.
back in
That's
front of
for the
Ardol's
Tuesday.
mind. You're just like, no, they're fine. They're
Unrelated, actually, to what was just said, can you give me a persuasion check with advantage?
me.
Yes.
That's a flat D20. I don't get a modifier to that.
You do have advantage.
Well, the first roll was a 2, so
Okay.
It can only go up from here, right?
No, it can
mostly. Yeah,
No.
3. It did go up. You're right, babe.
It
It
did
went
go
up.
up. It did, in fact, go up. That's on us.
3
We
all
weren't
around.
thinking. Atson kind of nods and listens to what you're saying and says, well, thank you for your input. And if you all are planning to head out with the next wave of reinforcements, then be safe. There's much danger where you're headed, but I'm sure from what I hear, you'll make it out without much issue.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Yes. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, I apologize for sort of the secrecy of this all, but I appreciate your input and have a good evening.
Yes, you as well. Yes.
Kind of stands and leaves out the door, and
Does the door open, or are we just all just standing there like?
it's up to you guys.
No.
Like the door opens and we all had our ear to it, we all fall over, you know.
Yeah, so you can rejoin the party. I'm not sure what you all were up to while Ardal was in his private meeting.
I mean, Kami would be, I think, conversing with May and sort of saying, you know, basically kind of like what we were talking about in our heads, and maybe sharing it with Zaire and Ziggy too, in the world of like this Sarawak, excuse me.
Thank you.
Is probably one of Virius's sort of, I forget what Lucian called them, sort of his
Lieutenant?
recruits. Yeah,
Right.
I don't know.
Maybe. Whirl is listening, but she keeps looking down a hallway where she saw that there was like some artifacts, like when there was a door open, and so she keeps looking like down. Like, oh, I'm paying attention. Like,
I want to see something real quick.
Uh-oh.
I-
I don't
That's
want you to
yeah.
see something real quick.
Mm.
How about that? Take your players' wants and needs into consideration, DM.
Okay.
Oh,
Sweet Jesus.
such a threatening okay. How can an okay be so threatening?
But yeah, that's all.
Nothing good has ever happened after Eric does this.
What
Mm.
are you talking about? We're fine.
Yeah, we as in you, the DM. You're not part of
Anyway,
us.
Ardal kind of rejoins you all, and if you wanted to make your way to the House of Repose, Ardal would be able to kind of lead you there easily enough.
Yep.
That sounds, yeah, let's do it. But before we go, I think I'm just gonna say to the group, like, I think we should really be on our guard, because given the number of people in that room, and the number of groups involved, I mean, we had the Harpers there, we had the Flaming Fist, we had, well, I mean, who else was there? I don't know who, just a lot of different factions in that room. I mean, the chances of Abirius also having a spy in that room seems pretty high to me. So let's just be on our guard, since now we kind of publicly announced where we're staying.
I mean, he already knows where we're staying. He sent us here.
Yeah, I mean, but quite literally where we're sleeping tonight.
Let them come.
Let them come, because maybe we could hop on back and cop a ride back home.
Not a bad idea.
I'm full of them tonight.
Maybe I can like pretend to be like, "Oh, Daddy, you taught me. I'm on your side now."
Super convincing.
We'll keep that in our back pocket, Ziggy.
Theo's face.
Oh. I thought there was only one daddy in this campaign.
Sorry,
Daddy Oblivious.
I come home now.
Daddy
Hell no!
I'm dying.
I know our next int's real.
Oh god. All right. Well, and then Ardal, are you staying at your own residence?
Yeah, I just got to feed Susie. Dum dum.
So
Butterscotch needs her medicine. She's diabetic.
You've been gone for months.
For so long.
They're dead. They've consumed each other.
I've got an automated machine that it's fine. I like to do it myself though. It's something about you gotta make money to.
So anyway,
Just cast scrying as a pet cam.
you lead them back out into the market board to the area of the Red Bazaar, which is the sort of main marketplace here in the city. And on the outskirts of the Red Bazaar is the House of Repose. And then, Ardal, your private residence is it's a small little. Obviously, you don't need much in the way of permanent residence here in the city, so you've got a small place in the Turiki Anchorage, which is just west of the market board in the Red Bazaar. So, kind of on your way home, you can drop them at the House of Repose if you wish.
Yes, and I'm right a couple blocks right around the corner if you need me. Just a district or two. Yes. And we'll meet back at Eon at the appropriated time, I assume.
Good.
Yeah. Cool. Can you bring some of that tea? That was it mango leaf tea?
Yes, I'll make sure to pick some up.
Okay.
Anything else? Anyone? Bread? Sweater?
Bread?
You don't want a sweater. I don't know.
What?
If I'm going out to get groceries, if I'm going to get mango tea, does anyone else need anything else?
I need some antibacterial hand wash.
See? Why?
Maybe a nice little house plant for Kami, like a little succulent of some kind. Like a little house plant so that as non-threatening as possible.
That's not funny, Maeve.
Sunflower seeds.
There you go. I can probably find that. Yes.
Some
Yes,
mayonnaise.
I'll get snacks for the road and tea.
It was a visual.
All right. Well, I think we're just about here. Your accommodations will be here, and if any of you need me, I'll just around the corner at my own place.
Well, we have to thank you, Ardal. We would not have gained that audience without you.
Oh, well. Yes, you're welcome. It's been quite the adventure so far. Certainly worth the mayonnaise jar I brought back.
Yes, we're a spicy little group, aren't we?
Indeed.
Well, I'm going to sleep on a bed for the first time in days. And I'm really looking forward to it.
I don't know how I'm going to sleep on a bed with this tail.
You're gonna figure it out. Not hard.
I'm really sick of this. I want my old body back.
I understand.
I have to stay wet because if I don't, I get all like scratchy.
And you're cold-blooded. That's a big
It's
change.
fucking awful. I hate this.
Did you talk to Arnold about being cold-blooded? He's a turtle.
Yeah, there's no way he likes it.
It's why I suggested a sweater.
Really
You know,
different.
where
What?
it's
Would you-
easier out here in Chult, though. You know, it's hot all the time. But yeah, I get it. I'm sure it's nice having warmer blood. I don't know, but also, you know, I've always been like this. Not like you. It sounds like you weren't always.
Yeah.
Like this.
I wasn't. I don't want to be.
Although Ziggy,
Well-
what's more fun, fur or scales?
Fur.
Oh, okay.
For
Missing out.
sure.
Feathers is where it's at.
When
Yeah,
we go
we
to the
literally-
air, watch. When we go to the fucking airplane, I'm gonna turn into an aircocker. I fucking know it.
Mhm. It's fun.
I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna
Eventually.
fly so much faster than you, Zaire.
Sure, you can try.
I'll bet that my feathers will be cooler than yours.
Mm.
I would love to see what
How
you turn
mean.
into. Imagine what you could turn into in the Feywild, Ziggy.
I want to be a hug slug.
Oh, yeah!
Loon
I
is
think that's
Loon's been bad the whole time. Loon's one of the
Loon is a bad guy the whole time. He's the spy. Loon's the spy.
Scabbers.
No,
It's our
never.
scabbers now.
Look at this little face. He'd never do that.
You didn't think Scabbers would either.
Mm-hmm.
There's a rat.
That's why the
An
spell. That's why the
unusual
spell
long
didn't
life
work. That's
for
why
a
the
hug
spell
slug,
didn't
isn't it
work.
not?
That's why Ron's
That's why the
spell
spell
didn't work. Because it's not a rat. Akin to
Yep.
a stupid fat rat yellow because he wasn't a rat.
We should go into the House of Repose.
We should go to the house of Repose.
We should. Let's go. Let's go get some
You
rest.
should propose.
Good night. Good night,
I
Arnold.
was
Sleep
also
well.
slowly walking backwards, like.
Tomorrow.
All right. So yeah, as you guys head into the inn, it's really pretty nice. Not that the rest of the city hasn't kind of impressed you at all, but this is sort of from the bright colors and the sounds and the excitement of the city. This is quite literally, you know, it lives up to its name. This is a place of kind of the noise from the city really fades away almost as soon as you walk inside. There's these sort of red, soft curtains that drape over all of the walls, and it gives it a very, it's dark, but not like a foreboding dark. It's a very kind of dimly lit, calm, kind of cozy environment as you enter, but kind of fancy too at the same time. And kind of the individual working the front desk here, he acknowledges you all and kind of gives a moment of looking at you all. Very dirty, very worn down, like group of people that have just walked in. And he kind of stifles not a sneer, but stifles oh wow, like they look rough. Before kind of composing himself, and he says, "Hello, welcome to the House of Repose.
If you think we look bad, we smell even worse. Do you have showers?
We have some bathing, some bathrooms, bathhouses here within the House of Repose. You're welcome to use them.
We will pay for that. I take all of my money, all of my 5 gold, and I put it on the table, on the thing. I have no
Very
idea
well.
if my money is even good on this plane, but I do it.
Good point.
Yeah.
Gold seems to be gold to whoever it is that
That's good.
is receiving it. And so the individual kind of sees it and says, very well. 5 rooms for you all then?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whirl is 6.
Well, Ziggy had put down 5. It seemed like 5.
Oh, and Ardal's at his house. Yes, 5.
Mm-hmm.
I give Butterscotch a medicine.
Also, I didn't count. That's all the gold I have left.
I know, but it just so happens it works.
Right.
So good job.
5 rooms for you all, and it would be a silver for each for the bathhouse if you intend to utilize that during your stay as well.
I paid for the room. Someone get me clean.
I will pay, Ziggy. I'll throw down 5 silver.
Very well. Rel here will show you all to your rooms and subsequently to the bathhouse for your relaxation. If there's anything you require while there, just let him know, and he would be sure to accommodate you. Enjoy your stay. And an individual dressed in sort of a flowing purple, almost looks like velvety with like gold trim. It's sort of a draped robe, like mixed with like a toga kind of thing. And he seems to be standing kind of expectantly for you all. And he says, right, of course, you just right this way. And he leads you through some of the hallways here before coming to kind of the end of one of the main hallways. And there's 3 rooms on one side and 2 on the other that he kind of motions to. He says, right, well, these will be your rooms for the evening. And once you are settled in, please find me back downstairs, and I would be happy to show you to the bathhouse.
Feels so good to be out of the jungle.
I don't have anything
Yeah,
to
Maybe
put
just
down.
to
Can I just go to the
run.
bathhouse?
Yeah.
Kami's gonna just put his stuff down. He's gonna head down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Before going to bed, Zaire is going to meditate a little bit, knowing that we're going to probably be going to the site of this death plague. Thinking back to the visions that he saw from Kellamvor, like almost being like, is this what you are fighting against, kind of thing.
Okay.
Not necessarily seeking an answer, but more kind of just like taking a moment of quiet, remembering the interaction, and kind of questioning, like thinking it's ironic that Zaire is now going there.
Yeah.
Like how the universe has weaved it, so he's going back.
Are you joining the rest at the bathhouse, or are you just going to bed after meditating?
I'll go to the bathhouse.
Okay. All right. So Rel kind of leads you all downstairs from the floor where you all came in. And as you kind of descend, you feel that familiar humidity, almost like you're back in the jungle for a moment, but it's much more inviting. And you kind of smell various kind of floral scents on the steam. Sort of citrusy, floral, and he shows you down to a large open room with a central pool in the middle, with steam rising out of the pool. And as you walk across the stone that leads to the edge of the pool, it's kind of hot beneath your feet. Something's warming it from beneath, it seems. And it's certainly warm down here, but the water is inviting, and like it's all kind of very aromatherapy, and it's a bit fancier than you probably need for what you've been through, but it's a very nice change of pace for you all, and for Kami, like you and Zaire, and actually for all of you except for maybe Whirl, it's a kind of place that you all have maybe never been to, or not been to this kind of place in quite a long time.
Whoa.
This is pleasant.
You didn't like saying that, did you?
No. I like to, just be comfortable in my own, whatever state I'm in. But and I don't need much. But this is nice.
There's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself, Zaire. You've earned it. You've been through a lot like the rest of us.
We are not done. I have not earned anything yet.
Consider this the death of your pessimism, though. Get it? Death because you're like obsessed with it.
Thank you, Ziggy. That was.
Elevor's like, why are you so obsessed with me?
Listen, all I'm saying, Zaire, is
Calm down.
one
Bro,
little.
we've been on one date, okay?
All I'm saying, Zaire, is one little nice night at the bath does nothing to take away from your atonement. Don't worry, there's still plenty of time for your sulking when we're done.
That's a fair point.
It's all about sulking after soaking.
Have a nice soul.
I don't think I know. I'm just not,
He's more of a brooder.
He's a bird who
I
broods.
feel like I've
David
opened
Brood.
up a lot to you, and you've seen like my happy side plenty of times. I'm happy right now.
Well,
How do you?
Birds can't even smile. I have no
That's
idea
good
when
to
you're
hear.
happy.
Well, you're a lizard, so I'm
I
getting
smile,
nothing but dead eyes.
which looks like I'm gonna fucking eat somebody.
Fine, I will relax. I will work on my temperament, but will not be happy about it. Well, no, I will be happy about it.
Look at you.
Don't,
Progress
don't
already.
worry.
Look at us.
Don't worry, Zaire. We understand you.
Whirl has somehow found cucumbers from somewhere and just has them over her eyes.
Yes.
And it's
Stole
just
them
like,
for sure.
it's been too long since I've been in one of these.
It'd be even better if we had some music. Ah. No, wow, Ziggy, that was really good.
Does anybody know a bard?
No, but I feel like I was one in a past life.
Kami just breaks out into a battle hymn of the Tovaro.
It's like
Oh,
it's
okay.
definitely some like Hungarian throat singing bullshit.
It's very aggressive.
Is there anybody else in this pod? Is there anybody else in there?
In this, so there's other like pools that are down here.
Okay.
You guys have kind of got your own just because you're a larger group at the moment. But there are people who could probably hear something if it's loud enough.
Okay, I'm wondering.
And the lyrics are very. I mean, it's in Tavorian, but I'll sing it in common. And it's very much about like, and the blood painted the fields red, and the screams of the enemies rung
this.
through the air.
I've heard this, but this
Not
is
the kind of
one song that I like. Yes.
yeah, this is, of course, Zaire. Yes, not the kind of music that I was going, but yeah, thank you, Kami, thank you.
We used to sing this all the time in the barracks showers. It's what I'm used to.
Do what I want, middle finger in the air, gonna party.
You can't. Don't. You can't sing it.
There's no way she sees us.
At some point, when he's done singing, Kami just goes, "Well," and he stands up, stark naked, and just walks. Just walks off.
I miss my dick. I liked my dick.
Do you walk like out of the back up to your room?
Yep.
As you leave, Raoul, who is standing outside, goes, "Sir, please take a towel with you as you go."
I would love an extra towel, thank you. And
You throw it on your shoulder, just keep walking.
I like to think that that Maeve just stays as long as possible and like brings her like spell book down, even like has her spell book out as she's
Maybe holding her spell book out of the water. It's
her triceps are gonna be so fucking ripped.
So ripped.
Zaire's, you look over Maeve, and Zaire's at another one, like the bird bath, like the
Preening himself.
I love that. Also, I'm taking all the different kinds of scents and everything and trying each one.
I will say, Ziggy, like once we're done talking and we're all just kind of like doing our own things, I'm gonna try and meditate and focus on the anchor to see what the fuck is up with that.
Okay. Yeah, so focusing on kind of that same energy that you've been trying to get better at recognizing, focusing on, harnessing even at times. It's certainly weaker where you are now. The pull, at least. You can feel it, and it's in a similar direction. But a bit further away, and you can kind of, when you were kind of within the ley lines back in the bog, you could, it was very present. It was very, almost, it almost had a weight to it. And now it's more of like a mosquito kind of in your ear, right? You can tell it's there, but it doesn't kind of have this weight to it as it did before.
Do I know like directionality of like? Do I know like where we're gonna be heading? It doesn't
Yeah. So
correspond.
it's again in a similar direction to the last time that you kind of focused on it, because you kind of traveled further north, and it seemed to have been to your south.
Okay, so I know it's south.
So
Are we heading south?
they didn't say, to be fair, but they did say you were heading into the heart of the jungle, and the port city of Nyanzaru sits on the northern point of this peninsula,
Okay,
with
so
the
pretty much
jungle.
everything is fucking south.
Pretty much everything is to the south from here. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Guys,
The
it's
mountains that you
south.
guys were in, were kind of west southwest, more so than south. But yeah, most of the jungle lies to the south of the port city.
I will just yell with no context. Guys, it's south.
I think Jaime's already gone, so.
I look up from my book. I'm like, oh, okay. Any other details?
Far south.
Far. Okay. Well, we'll keep triangulating together, Ziggy.
Triangulating.
Mm-hmm.
Triangle. I barely know angle. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. And I'll get out of the bath and go figure out how to sleep with a tail on a bed.
All right. Before bed, Zaire, give me a D100 roll, please.
Uh-oh.
Yep, hold on one second. 84.
Wow. Okay. So as you all kind of go to bed, go to sleep, Jake, you kind of take that time to yourself before going to, or Zaire, I should say, you take that time to yourself before going to sleep. And as you do eventually fall asleep, you find yourself kind of dreaming of a place that you don't like being, and that's underground. But you seem to be kind of flying through these halls, these tunnels underground. You can kind of feel a wind pushing you through. And you almost see yourself from like a third point of view down there. And you hear this kind of horrible, it's between a roar and a scream. And trying to figure out what kind of being, what kind of creature would make this sound, you can think of none. And you've had a lot of experience at the fighting pit working with all sorts of creatures. And this sound is visceral and it's piercing, and at the same time it's vibrating deep in your chest. And you find yourself kind of picking up the pace in the direction of the sound. And as you kind of fly by these different rooms and openings that kind of open to the side of the tunnel, you see individuals, some of whom, as you just take a quick look, it looks like somebody is sitting with like a spear through their side, and another one, it looks like they are kind of trying to crawl out of the room, bleeding for help, looking for help as they're kind of bleeding on the floor. And you kind of keep pushing through here. And eventually the people that you're seeing along the sides of this tunnel, they go from living to actively dying to dead to then rising from the dead. And as you kind of push further and further into this tomb, into these tunnels, you can almost feel them start to grab at your feet as you're flying above them. And you see this gate come up in front of you. And it seems to be made of kind of the bones of these creatures that are grabbing out at you and pulling you down, attempting to pull you down. And you can feel something behind the gate, and you can feel like the wind that seems to be coming from nowhere and everywhere at the same time is like pushing you in that direction, while at the same time these things are clawing at you from underneath and pulling you back down. And you hear that same screaming roar. It seems to be coming from behind this gate. But before you can kind of reach out and push open the gate, you feel 3 or 4 different kind of claw, bony hands grab your feet and just completely pull you down. And as you do, you snap awake in your bed, and you just kind of catch your breath for a minute in the darkness before eventually kind of finding your way back to sleep, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I think like in a minute, or like if he wakes up, I think he's gonna kind of think back. Is there anything from the Order of the Long Death or in his time back in Sessordum? Like clearly he's on a new plane, but that talks about a creature that would do something like that would have the ability to turn all of those people to undead, or like legends of underground complexes where these types of things happen.
Make a religion check for me.
That's the 16.
Okay. So in kind of the pursuit of study when it comes to kind of death and undeath, excuse me, the term lich comes to mind, and you're familiar with these sort of undead, arcane, gifted spellcasters, and they're these kind of people at one point, though that's kind of a generous term, once they kind of ascend to lichdom. But they are kind of after this pursuit of immortality, no matter the form.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're thinking of some of the things that you've seen in the name of this sort of enemy that they seem to be fighting against, it seems like this is the work of some sort of lich who is attempting to harness the power of life and death here on this plane, or at least within this peninsula, this jungle. But the manner in which they go about it can be different, and so it seems like there's something going on here that is unfamiliar. The manner in which this particular lich seems to be, what his end goal is, or how he's getting there is unknown. But it's a very dangerous enemy nonetheless.
So thinking on that and kind of like thinking through it, that you're kind of tenses up a little bit, and like beyond like the need of the group that he's been traveling with, and beyond the need to get home and deal with the threat to Oberius, like he sees like this and potentially what he's about to go do, and he knows like it's an affront on everything that he learned to believe in through the Order of the Long Death. Affront on death as a transition point into the next phase of existence. It's so disgusting to him, this type of magic, this type of belief, that beyond anything now, he wants to see to it, because he knows that's what, from his order, that's what he would do. So he kind of like tenses up. I think now, it's hard for him to fall back asleep, but eventually he does, kind of with a renewed sense of determination, whereas he was mostly just like, let me get back home. Now I think he's a little more, focused.
Okay. And I will say everybody else can take a long rest. I'm going to grab water and then do whatever you need to do for preparing spells, and we'll start the next day.
And we level up. I can't believe it.
Oh my goodness.
We got so much experience from a luxurious bath.
Nothing like a little self-care to really take you to that next level, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
To be fair, the last time we leveled up was before Thanksgiving. Just saying.
I was thinking about that, and so that's what I said, like, and we leveled up. But
To be fair, we haven't played much since then, but it's still like it's been a long time.
Dungeon crawl.
10 months. Yeah.
We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this has been our 6th session since leveling up.
Not bad.
Seems like the right amount of time between leveling up.
We'll see. Maybe
Also,
once this lich.
Yeah. Arnold, as we wait, do you want to describe to us what your little studio apartment looks like?
How do you know it's a studio? He does well for himself.
Yeah.
One bedroom.
Yeah.
At least.
One bedroom, maybe two?
I think it's a one bedroom, or it's two bedrooms, but one is specifically devoted to the cats.
Of course.
Nice.
So he actually probably had room for like guests, but like that's the cat's room, so you can't just.
Right.
What sort of decor?
Uh-huh.
A lot of house plants, so Kami would have hated it. It's very green.
I like to think at least one of them
A lot
is
of
tiny
macrame.
that could have attacked Kami. At least one of them is like a living.
Yeah.
He couldn't have it in his house, but he does. 'Cause he's
Ardo picked up some like dead rats or something from the market and just like tosses it to the plant that just stacks.
the only thing that
It's
keeps
a what?
him from eating one of his cats.
One of the plants that you described to us was like an assassin plant, right?
Yeah.
You have to keep getting new cats because they keep getting
So
eaten
I'm
by
gonna-
the plants that you have.
Oh no.
Oh, it's so dark.
So I'm taking only necrotic spells. That's what undead don't like, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Should probably swap out
Mhm.
all of
Oh
our
yeah,
fire
I hear this. I hear this. This spell called Wall of Fire is pretty good. I'm gonna take that.
I'm not moving.
I actually heard that the spell Blur is really good, and Jake is
Yeah, I just got
experiencing it all the time.
my AC just went up to 25.
No, I just think people have disadvantage if they attack you.
Jake
Is that what it is? Oh, I
Jake
forgot.
is John Cena now.
Do. There we go. I am just probably not going to use this camera anymore after today.
I stand with Bailey that it's the Christmas lights in the back,
But I like the aesthetic, so I'm not turning it on.
So screw you guys.
you could like turn your camera just like. Keep going.
No, because then it.
There you go.
The
That's
Blur is
No, I like the aesthetic.
All right. Well.
I can complain about it, but I know it is my fault.
And you will never know peace.
Was that a good Dune impersonation?
Yes.
That's the like sound, the like the soundtrack or whatever.
I was
That's a good soundtrack.
imitating the Harkonnens.
Their spells are just so useless.
Hoo-hoo!
All right.
House Atreides.
Michael just reenacts the entire movie for us for the next hour.
One thing I could not get over was Christopher Walken as the Emperor. Christopher Walken as the Emperor did not work for me. Did not work. The entire time I'm like, need more cowbell?
Did you get the popcorn bucket, Michael?
No, I didn't get the
I asked too.
I did not get the sandworm fleshlight.
I did
No,
ask
I did
him
not.
that.
That's the Andor flashlight.
So DM, hypothetically, if I wanted to learn new spells eventually when I'm not leveling up, how would we do this?
I think a wizard needs to spend a certain amount of time as well as a certain amount of material resources to add a spell to the spell book.
Or if she finds a scroll, she can.
Correct. You can copy it over.
Okay. So if I wanted to learn Shatter, I'm kidding.
No
Big joke.
AoE spells for Jess.
Big joke.
Oh, look, I just happen to have this Destroy Undead scroll in my back pocket. I think I'm just gonna...
Exactly. Wow. It's incredible. Yeah. Nothing useful.
All right. Yeah. So I will say you guys
Level up, dope.
get in your long rest
Level up.
and awake the next morning.
We need to put that on the soundboard so that anytime he says it, we just play the Lizzo song.
We can't, Michael.
We're not making money.
No, but they'll still paying us for it.
I bet Lizzo would say it's okay.
It's not a Lizzo song, it's a Sierra song.
Mm-hmm.
Level up?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what Lizzo says.
What? No.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Sierra would definitely sue us, I feel like.
I think so, probably.
She needs the money.
All right. Well rested. Got a good bath in. I feel like Zaire's feathers have never looked better.
They look excellent. And for the first time, and you guys knowing him, he actually smells good.
Oh, good for him.
Zaire, you don't smell like death.
Oh, well, trying something new, I guess. Do you like it?
We'll enjoy it while it lasts. We're literally about to head into a den of undeath, so I'm sure that it won't take long.
I think I prefer that too. You know, seems like it's a little overpowering. Never cared for lavender too much.
I'm more of a Magnolia and Lily fan.
Insight check. I'm kidding.
All right.
Zaire
fucking
loves lavender. Zaire fucking
I know
loves
you
lavender.
love. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's do this. And as I knock everything off of my thing. Insight check on this. 11 plus 18.
Do I roll too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I
roll
crit. But so you're gonna insight check. Initially, Zaire's gonna you assume, oh man, this man hates lavender more than anything that he's ever seen. But for a second, he kind of drops it and he looks back down and he smiles, like a hint to smile on his beak as he smells himself again secretly when he thinks you're not looking. And he thinks of the lavender plant that his mom had potted in their little hut.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we're gonna head over to Eon because I think that's where we said we were gonna meet with folks.
Mhm.
Okay.
Although they said it was gonna take 36 to 48 hours, so I think we're just gonna go. I guess like check the status.
Okay.
Montage. Gotta be
What's
a
the stat?
montage.
This is the montage. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to do something over here. It's not working.
Also, what did you roll for, Eric, that you're not telling us about?
When
Will we ever know?
when you're down at the bathhouse, Zaire is going to say, I think I know what we may be facing. The cause of this plague. It is one who seeks to transcend death and become immortal. Very powerful necromantic magic. My order has fought for centuries back in Sessordum to eliminate any who may attempt to use this. Back home, we call them the Lich. So
Lichen?
I would be prepared.
Well, we knew it wasn't going to be easy.
No. And I feel that regardless of the plane I'm in, it is my duty as a member of this order to eliminate this threat from Faerun, from Sessordum, from anywhere.
I was going to ask, are you going to be okay, Zaire?
Am I go? I have a purpose now that I haven't felt in a while. We've been wandering this continent aimlessly, trying to find a way back home. Well, at least in absence of that, I have something that I can go kill.
So, like,
It's always nice to see when you get a fire lit under you.
with undead stuff, can you still suck the undeath out of them?
Yes? I think. Hold on, let me look at my spell. Yes.
Good.
Yes. I think
Nom nom nom
I,
nom 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 nom.
it is beyond one who can, the magic is not to be trifled with, and it is certainly powerful, and when respected and lines are not crossed, it is useful. But it is one thing to heal yourself. It is another to eliminate the essence of death from your life, or at least attempt to. But this lich will soon learn that it is impossible to escape it. It is inevitable, either naturally or by our hands.
Asser sasser whack is going down.
They are often egotistical to have the desire that your presence needs to be on any plane for that long. So I have a feeling, Ziggy, if you call him that to his face, he'll probably be pretty mad.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck with this guy. I'm gonna make him be sorry he was ever undead.
All right.
Yes.
So you guys make your way back to the to Eon, I should say. Heading through the halls back to kind of the assembly chamber that you guys had been to previously. And there's going to be a few people that you recognize there. One of whom is Kutrum, the very large, you imagine barbarian-esque kind of individual with a flaming fist, as well as Rathian seem to be talking with a number of other people who you don't recognize as much, but they seem to be pouring over, again, maps and ledgers and things like that, talking about various resources that they have, where to send them, who's going to be responsible for what. Yeah, and you kind of enter there, and they don't seem to pay too much mind as you enter the chamber.
Well,
You
we
see
don't mean
Arnold?
to intrude. Oh yeah, Zardal here.
we see? Do we see our friend?
Which friend?
Ardal.
Ardal.
Ardal, did you go back there? Actually, was there anything you wanted to do while you were back in the city, Ardal, before moving on?
No, I just had to check in on my home duties, and I knew that the time frame was to come back here, so I imagine I'd be back.
Yeah, I think it's easy enough for Ardal to meet up with you guys. By the time you get there, probably. He knows his way around the city a little bit better. But yeah, so you guys are all together once again. And in the chamber again, they're kind of poring over these things, and they don't seem to notice as you enter.
Not to intrude, but we're just wanted to check in on the status of the mission.
Rathian looks up, says, "Oh, yes, welcome back. We've been up most of the night, planning, gathering what we have. It seems the rest of our shipments arrived late last night and are being offloaded and prepped. So, yeah, we should be good to go in a few hours, I think. I think it's Kutram's going to be leading this particular group this time, so you'll be dealing with him."
Ami scoffs ever so gently.
Nobody seems to notice, at least at the moment. So they kind of clue you in a little bit on what's been going on. Rathian says, "So, there's an ancient city deep in the jungle. There is a tomb that exists beneath that city. The tomb, without getting into too much detail, was where allegedly the remains of these 9 ancient gods were kept. I imagine that mythology may have sprung out of this ley line, because the ley line does exist there. Perhaps there was some energy, some arcane happenings that led people to believe that perhaps that was where these ancient gods resided, or their remains were kept. I'm not sure. Anyway, all that is to say that it seems this Acererak has taken over this tomb and turned it into his personal killing fields, first of all. And second, it seems to be housing whatever atrocity he's committing here. So what we've done, at first it took a great while of fighting our way through the various levels of this place, as well as the jungle itself. Then we couldn't communicate in or out, or transport things in and out. So it took us a while to work our way through whatever was interfering with that. But we've established a teleportation circle within the tomb itself. One of the higher levels, but it's within the tomb. We've cleared out to this point. Below this point in the tomb, we don't necessarily know what waits for us. So what I think we're sending you all in is part of this team that's going to continue to search the tomb for answers, continue to search for whatever might be happening, and eliminate anything that stands in your way, anything that poses a threat. We give you free reign to, unless it's one of the ones you see traveling with you there, they're not with us. And deal with them how you must, how you wish. So, with that being said, is there anything you all need before you are prepared to go? Is there any questions that I can answer? I will attempt to as best I can.
Do you have any, since we have a couple hours to kill while we're waiting for the party to be ready to set out, do you have any, whether here or within the city, any excess to some magical items, things that might help us on our journey. We came across adamantine ore that might help fund the next phase of our equipment.
That's quite a find out in the jungle.
I can't remember how we found it. How did we find the adamantine ore?
We were
the
given
dwarf gave
it by
to
the
you, right?
dwarves.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's certainly worth a fair bit of coin in the city. Are you looking to have somebody make you something out of that ore, or simply trade it?
No, nobody in our party wears armor. So
Mm-hmm. I see.
Nobody in our party to correct them. Nobody in our party is capable of wearing armor.
I can.
Even
It
there.
just lowers my AC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure somebody would be willing to pay you for that. As far as finding yourself arcane equipment or whatever it is that you're looking for, I can't say we have much. Most of what we have comes through the city and is typically shipped out to other places for sale throughout Faerun. The jungle certainly seems to have its fair share, I will admit. We do have some things that you can purchase here in the city. We've got various tinctures and potions and herbs, supplies of that nature. But I don't know that we've got. I don't know of anybody in the city currently that traffics that here. Most of the traffic goes again outside of the city.
No, that's understandable.
But if you head to the Red Bazaar, you can certainly find any smaller items that you might need or wish to bring with you. I'd recommend insect repellent, though it seems once you get to the tomb, most living things, such as insects, don't seem to have much of a presence. So,
Are there
at least for
undead mosquitoes?
we haven't found any yet, though I do worry for the day that somebody uncovers something like that. I think at that point I'll just return to the Feywild.
Call them death mosquitoes.
It's a good name for them. I'll consider passing that along.
Well, it wouldn't hurt us to go to the bazaar and maybe we can get some healing potions.
It's up to you, ma'am. I don't need any potions. I just wanted something that would help me swing harder. That's it.
Mm.
I don't think we even
I
used
have-
any of the potions that we've had. So
We have not.
Maybe I should have.
well, you were unconscious,
May
so
have
you
things
couldn't
going
have.
I have two, which is fine. I'm fine with two. Ardal, is there anything at the bazaar that you need?
Drugs?
Oh, I don't think. Well, what? No, God, no, I don't think so. I got the tea on the way over. No, I think I'm all set.
Okay.
What was I going to say? Oh, Kutram comes over and he says, "My friend, heard you were worried about swinging a bit harder down there. That's something I need myself, so why don't you take one of these?" And he takes a little flask of a potion and he gives it to you. He says, "You take one swig of that, I guarantee you'll be swinging harder than you've ever swung."
Thank you.
And you can add a potion of fire giant strength.
Don't mind if I do.
How long did that last?
The potion lasts for 1 hour once consumed.
Hell freaking yeah.
While we're waiting, I'm going to ask Are we talking to Lucica?
She's not here at the moment. You were talking to her previously.
Oh, we were talking to Rathian?
Oh, Raph is the one that was just talking to you right now, yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm going to ask him about like what the undead are susceptible to, if anything, just to get some more knowledge about the enemy.
Jesus.
He says, it entirely depends on the type that you're dealing with, unfortunately. There's some who simply abhor daylight or sunlight.
Okay.
So perhaps you could attempt that. If you've got your chosen deity, perhaps their radiant energy could help you out.
Jesus.
Jesus. He's the only
Trying to
deity.
avoid poisons. They don't typically seem to succumb to poison very easily, as well as sort of the necrosis that some spellcasters are able to inflict on them. Doesn't seem to have much of an effect.
Wither and bloom is not going to do me much good.
Yes, stay
bummer.
away from those kinds of things. But yes, perhaps things like bright lights, especially down in the tomb, I think it can have effects on them at the very least from time to time. But again, it entirely depends on what you're dealing with. We've seen all different types down there. So tough to tell you what to prepare for, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I bet I can't get any daylight down at the bazaar to carry with me into the tomb, so a little bit of a disadvantage there. Don't know the right spells.
They can cast that might help with that.
I can cast daylight.
Well, I can't yet.
Daylight ain't right.
Yeah, I don't know that one yet. Okay, all right, thank you.
You gotta learn them nature spell. Why am I?
I don't know.
Why are you
What's going on?
southern? What's happening to Ziggy?
I was in the Jesus voice. Gotta learn some more Jesus spells.
We're down in the tomb, and all Michael's doing is turning water into wine.
Just like the party, you know?
With the alchemy jug.
Right.
What was wine? The booze was an option, wasn't it?
Okay, it is now
Yes, it
canon.
was.
It is now canon. Jesus had an alchemy jug,
Oh, for
and
sure.
that is how he performed his feats.
He just
That
poured-
explains all the mayonnaise in the Bible.
Yes, that's why Southern people love mayonnaise so much.
Yes, it's what they don't put in the King James version is it's the miracle of the 1,000 bread, fish, and then they had the mayonnaise for the bread and the
Yeah,
fish.
That was like,
Yeah,
It made tuna salad.
And the fish.
great.
and that's why
Oh.
Long John Silver's was created in his name.
Praise be.
Long Jesus Silvers.
Praise be.
Well, anyway, I'm gonna say about an hour or so's passed. A couple hours have passed, we'll say. And
And I think
Just talking about
Maeve would
Jesus.
have gone to the bazaar.
okay.
At this point, if we had a couple hours, I went to the bazaar to check it out.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for there? You see various types of food laid out here, spices of all different sorts, different fabrics and clothing. Again, things of various potions and things like that.
I think I would let Loon pick out something that they really want, like a treat of some kind, maybe a little article of clothing.
Okay. Let's see. For Loon or for you?
For Loon.
Okay. There is a tent that seems to be selling various costumes and clothing for children and pets. They're very small, and for Loon, you could probably find a very small sort of
like velvet, blue, silver kind of cloak that they would wear.
Yep.
Yeah, looking very very stately, very royal.
Yes.
It's
So I cut it down to size if it needs to be shaped a little bit
a
more.
little bit, yeah.
And I tie it around their little neck. So he has a memory of Faerun to carry home to the
You hear
Feywild.
a very soft, almost like purring sound from Loon.
He's the best.
All right.
And that's it. Super important.
Is everybody else prepared?
Yep.
As ready as
Right.
we're gonna be.
So as you are waiting back at Eon, Lasika returns.
As soon as she
Followed
walks
by-
in, I say, God, I feel like we've been waiting for eons. And I point at the flaming fist guy and be like, this guy knows what I'm talking about.
Kuchum, looking between you and Lasika as she walks in and seeing her not react, he's gonna like kind of look over to you and he's gonna give you like a nod to be like, yeah, that was good. That was good. And Lasika just kind of rolls her eyes. But she kind of walks quickly and confidently to the center, kind of addresses everybody in the room, and she says, we're prepared to send you all to the tomb. Kutrum, you'll be leading this one, as you're aware. And Ardal, we're going to be trusting you with the new party that has joined us. So they will be under your, I hate to say supervision, but protection is more of what I'll say while you're out there.
Yes.
All right. Well, follow us to the loading dock. It's where we've prepped the circle for the materials and reinforcements. And we'll get you all sent out there. Best of luck. And so Kutrum and Lasika kind of lead a number of you out to kind of the other side of the building. And you see a number of kind of crates of things stacked there, as well as a number of individuals dressed in armor, holding weapons, shields. There seem to be a number of other spellcasters that are there. And you all kind of round out the group. And so, in about a couple of waves, they kind of send you all through the teleportation circle. And so once it's your turn, you all kind of step in and you feel that now somewhat familiar flash of light, that kind of moment of weightlessness before your knees kind of buckle a bit under you as you return. And you look around and it is dimly lit with sort of flickering torches all around you. And as you step out of the circle, you find yourselves on kind of this rough stone tunnel. And there seems to be a staircase on the far end that seems to lead down. And there's guards posted in front of that opening. And you look kind of around you, and there's a few other openings, and the tunnel kind of leads further back, and you see guards again posted at that entrance, as well as a number of crates. Tents are set up here, tables with various resources, food and other papers and things that people are poring over, they're discussing. And the new people that just arrived seem to be kind of melding into those who were here already, distributing things, joining their ranks. You see some of the guards kind of swap out with some of the new ones that come in. And Kutrum says, welcome. It's about as nice as it's going to get from here on out. So I hope you enjoyed your stay at the House of Repose. Probably the last you're going to
have of anything that nice for a little while at least.
See, I told you, Zaire, you'd be right back into this muck before you knew it.
Could have been anywhere else but a stupid tunnel.
It's kind of ironic, don't you think, that like the one thing that like Zaire hates most, well, the two things that Zaire hates most are undead and tunnels, and they tend to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
It is fitting.
Well, the sooner we can get going, the sooner we can be done with it.
Isn't it
Kuchum
ironic?
says,
Don't
that's
you
a
think?
fair attitude, though I have to advise we're being cautious. We're proceeding slowly into the various new areas that we've discovered here in the tomb. It's just safer that way. But so far, you see in that direction, he kind of points towards where the hallway kind of extends behind you. He says, in that direction, places we've already cleared, higher levels of this seemingly never-ending network of caves, tunnels, and tombs. That's what we've cleared. As far as we know, it's safe back there, but we don't have the resources to maintain a presence throughout the rest of it, so we've stationed guards.
What are you finding? What are you clearing out?
Undead, traps of all different sorts. That's most of it, if I'm honest.
The people that I saw in my vision or my dream, do they look like they are wearing similar armor that the guards and stuff are here?
They were wearing armor. It was hard for you. You were really kind of like it was just fast. There was just like flashes of images as you were flying past. It's hard to say if it was exactly the same, if they were dressed as these people were. Because there's also not a uniform to these people. They're kind of coming from all different places from the various factions. So it's tough to say if any of them kind of looked similar. But Kuchum kind of continues and he says, so if you absolutely must go in that direction, it should be safe, but just know we've not maintained a presence there, and to be on the lookout still. Always be cautious if you leave this immediate vicinity. Now, in that direction, he points towards where there's two guards that seem to be standing posted in front of the staircase. He says, in that direction, that's where we're headed. We have not proceeded far into this section of the tomb, and we've not cleared out hardly any of it. So, as we proceed in that direction, I have to advise you to be incredibly careful.
Leroy Jenkins.
Don't you dare.
And be prepared to fight
Pushes past the guards.
anything and everything. Now,
Okay, anything.
if you are to return this way, the guards will be aware of who you are and they will let you in. But just know, anything or anybody with you, if we do not recognize them, we will immediately attempt to take you all out. So ensure that if you are bringing anybody back, make sure you make that known to us. Because
What?
What would we bring back?
Who?
we don't know. There's been times where we've seen what seemed to be members of our own coming back, and it was deception. It was some sort of spell.
Possession.
Just all I'm saying is be very careful and know that the guards are prepared to stop anybody attempting to return without knowing who they are. We did have one unfortunate incident where an individual had seemingly disguised themselves, and we didn't recognize them when they came back, and we almost had a small issue. So things like that, I'm just advising you, if you're to return to the encampment here, just make sure we know who you are and what you're doing back here. That's all.
I don't know if this will happen, but it has happened. Sometimes I look like this. Sometimes I look like a buffalo dude. If I come back looking like a buffalo dude, don't kill me.
We will try our best to keep that in mind. That's a tough ask, you have to understand,
I get it.
but we will do our best.
I'll give you a safe word. My safe word is kumquat McSquishy Pants.
If anybody else were to say that word, I would be it certainly won't come up by accident. So that's a good one. That's a good safe word. But you all, under the care of Ardal, we're going to be sending you out in your own search party, and I'll be taking my men and spreading out in opposite directions. If you have any trouble, return to the encampment, and good luck.
Here we
Thank
go.
you. Again. Ardal, it's just like the last time we were in a tomb together. Wow. Let's just not set off all the fire traps this time.
Yes, I feel like they'll be much less forgiving than the last one.
Let's go kill ourselves a lich.
Yeah,
Right.
we're just
I think
dying to be here.
exploring the tomb is best done with a full party. And people have early things tomorrow. So I'll say we'll take a break there for tonight, and we will pick up with exploring the tomb once Bailey is feeling better and ready.
When is our next scheduled? We can talk about
Sounds
it now.
good.
3 weeks from now?
4. It's the 31st.
I believe
Yeah.
4 weeks.
March 31st. We're back March 31st, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Easter Sunday.
Will we get off our favorite?
Jesus, not the only thing rising from the dead that day.
God,
Yeah, look at that.
On the
How
31st.
Jesus zombies. We're killing Jesus.
Wow.
You heard it here
Jesus
first.
zombies. We got lich zombies. We got dinosaur zombies. We got Jesus zombies riding dinosaur zombies.
You
Maybe.
heard it
I
here
don't
first.
know.
We're killing
Praise be.
Jesus on our stream.
All right. Great.
All right. Anyway, till next time.
Till next
Get us out
time.
of here. Get